Hey, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. Okay. Well, my name is Jimmy Keefe. I am one of your county commissioners, and this year, Chairman Evans appointed myself as chairman of the ARP. For you who don't know what ARP is, it's the American Rescue Plan. To break it down a little bit better, it's a ton of money. There's a lot of money. I'm joined tonight by two other commissioners that are on the committee, our Vice Chair Glenn Adams, and Commissioner Tony Stewart. We also have a number of staff here, and what we're going to try to do tonight is, this is our listening point. We've gone to Spring Lake. Tonight we're here. We're going to be in Grace Creek tomorrow. We're going to be working with the city of Fayetteville. And every different part of our county has unique needs. And we want to make sure that we hear from everybody about what are the unique needs of your area. I often say, and they joke about it, we're not that smart. We might have got elected, but we're really not that smart. So we got to hear from you. Well, Glenn's smart. Glenn's smart. He keeps telling me where he's right and I'm wrong. But it's really good to come out here. And first of all, Mayor Burnett, thank you very much. I appreciate the people from East over here. Thank you. We had the opportunity about a week ago now to brief all the mayors first and to let them know what this is about, what we can use the money for, and what we can't use the money for. And as you imagine, anytime that the government gets involved, there are restrictions. But this is probably the amount of money that we're seeing right now is not anything that will ever happen again, probably in any of our lifetimes. It is really, it's transformational money. We're working with a federal group, and they're giving us some guidance about what's happening at the federal government. Of course, we have our legislative delegation letting us know what's happening at the state level. The main thing that we're hearing more than anything else is this money should be invested in your community. And that doesn't just mean in buildings and parks, but it means in the people. So we want to invest in people. We want to invest in the community. We want to invest in the things that make a difference in our life. That means infrastructure. When I say that, I mean water and sewer. Broadband is a big thing that's out here. And if broadband is a concern of yours, please make that known tonight. Okay? If water is a concern, please be vocal. So what is happening tonight is I get to do the introduction. I am going to let Mayor Burnett come up and give a welcome, be followed by our county manager, Miss Amy Cannon. And then we're going to have a little bit of fun and try to get your take on everything that happened. It's very unintrusive. You get to sit down there with your cell phone or a little clicker and tell us what you think. And we give an opportunity for some roundtable discussion. So if that sounds good to everybody, we're going to get started. Turn it over to Mayor Burnett.
Thank you. I'd just like to welcome everybody to the town of Godwin, and I'm proud to be the host. I didn't think anything like this would ever happen. But first of all, I want to say, I gotta say, I'm proud of this building that we're in.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's a brand new building, and we are super proud of this building. So we'd like to welcome everybody into the town of Godwin here, and hopefully everybody gets something out of this that we can use. All right, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amy Cannon. I'm your county manager, and I'm pleased to be here. And I'm going to try to provide a little bit of information this evening about the details of the American Rescue Plan. This will be the most boring part. The fun part will come in just a few minutes where it's going to be interactive, and you're going to get a clicker to help us make some decisions. Okay, here are the three members of the American Rescue Plan Committee. I also want to recognize Commissioner Keefe said it was Chairman Evans that selected the committee, and he's here with us this evening as well. So welcome, Chairman Evans. And so with that, we'll go to the next slide. And again, I'm Amy Cannon, the county manager. I have 2 assistant managers that are joining me this evening, and they're going to get to do the fun part, the interactive part with each of you in just a few moments. Okay, so the President signed the American Rescue Plan on March 11th, 2021. These funds are intended to provide support to states and local governments in an effort to contain COVID-19 in our communities. Here are just a few key dates regarding the American Rescue Plan funds. The eligible expenses span from March 3rd, 2021 through December 31st of 2024. You have to have the funds obligated or encumbered by December 31st, 2024, and they have to be expended by the year 2026. So let's talk about the eligible uses of the funds. First of all, the need for public health measures will continue in the coming months or even years. I know each of you are listening to the news about the Delta variant and about our numbers nationally, statewide, and locally that are continuing to increase. So this category will continue to be an important category for the coming years. We can't forget that COVID-19 has affected our physical health, but COVID-19 has impacted literally every way we live, and it's affected our emotional well-being and our mental well-being. As just a note, overdose deaths are up significantly as a result of COVID and the last 18 to 20 months that we've lived through. So these funds, American Rescue Funds, can be used for behavioral health services. In addition, the Treasury also wanted us to use these funds to continue our public health planning. We've had many other events and public health events, and they want us to strengthen our planning. But another important category under the area of public health addresses disparities. I said a moment ago it's affected each of us, but I don't think that we can underestimate the impact, the disproportional impact it's had on some demographic groups. It's increased the health inequities along racial lines, ethnic, and socioeconomic lines. As you know, the pandemic has created significant economic and financial hardships. Although many jobs have been restored, the national economy remains millions of jobs lower than the pre-pandemic levels. So the American Rescue Funds can be used to assist households with mortgages or rental assistance, utilities. It also can be used to help small businesses. As you know, all businesses struggle, but especially small businesses. It can be used to assist nonprofits that provide services that local governments are not in the best position to provide. And then finally, as you know, travel and tourism were completely shut down for a long period of time. Premium pay for essential workers is another category. And you may ask, why is this a category? Throughout the crisis, essential workers have really put their well-being at risk each and every day to meet the daily demands that have been created by COVID. And those essential workers are nurses and doctors and public health nurses, but it may be the postal service that's delivered, UPS that delivered food and supplies when our grocery stores were limited. So this Many essential workers were also maybe in those low-wage categories. They may have been in some of those groups that may have been compromised. And because of this, premium pay is intended to compensate essential workers for the risk that they've taken for a very extended COVID-19 period. Investment in water and sewer infrastructure. Congress included this category because they realize the critical role that clean drinking water and wastewater treatment systems play in improving public health. And as many of you know, our community suffers. We have many wells and citizens that do not have clean drinking water, and throughout the county we have many areas that have failing septic tanks. So this is an important category. Investment in broadband. The pandemic has highlighted our need for available, high-speed, reliable, affordable broadband. Each of us in some sense had to rely on high-speed internet as schools closed and families had to help their children with online schooling. Many businesses closed, many employers sent employees home, and many of you may have visited your doctors through telemedicine. So broadband is an extremely important category because there are many areas in our county that do not have access to broadband. The next category talks about replacing public sector revenue loss. Many local governments lost a lot of money in their local revenues, such as sales tax when businesses closed, food and beverage tax, occupancy tax, due to the economic shutdown. In Cumberland County, we have been extremely fortunate. We had the presence of the military who were not impacted from a financial sense. We also had stimulus funding. We have found all local governments over the last year that our economy remained resilient through this pandemic. However, many local governments nationally did not. And so the American Rescue Funds can be used to replace those lost funds. And finally, I want to mention again that equity-focused services. The Treasury emphasizes that local governments and states need to take a good look at these services. Funding is available to address communities or demographic groups that were greatly impacted by the pandemic. We're talking about citizens that were struggling before COVID-19, but the pandemic created greater hardships and inequities. And so with that, I'll stop here and I'm going to turn it over to Sally Shutt and to Dr. Angel Wright-Lanier for the interactive phase of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. John Souls, who is with our Public Information Office, is going to start handing out, we call them, the official name is clickers. Everybody's going to get a clicker tonight. And that's because we're going to start asking some questions, and that's how you'll provide us with your feedback. Also, and Candace White's going to hand you out a pen and some little notebook paper. So these are the opportunities that we have right now. We've got the survey that's out on our website, and our new website is Cumberland County, nc.gov. We have an AR piece, a special page that's been set up. You can go right now and complete the survey. Here's the list of meetings, and we have extra flyers if you want to take those out and share with others in your community on that. Our next meeting will be at the J.D. Palm Rec Center in Grays Creek, and then we're going to have a session at the Department of Social Services, and then we're going to do a virtual session, and we'll have that information on our website. All right, does everyone now who's not a Cumberland County government employee have a clicker? Or a county commissioner? Yeah, exactly. All right, now, here's your first question. You are in a race right now. What place are you in when you pass the person who is in second place? A first, B second, C third, or D? None of the above.
D.
All right. So has everyone had, the poll is open. Has everyone had a chance to vote, to make their selection? Okay, let's get the results. All right. 60% of you said A, 10% B. 3 listened to Chairman Evans and said D. All right, and I'll let y'all decide what the correct answer is. But Al told me it was B. You're in second place. All right, now you get to rank, because we're going to do a lot of ranking when we get to the real survey. Now you're going to think about what is your favorite type of foods. Rank your favorite cuisine types. These are your options. Remember, the first one you select should be your most favorite, and on down, and the last one's your least favorite. Okay, do you like Caribbean, Thai, Mexican, Chinese, Southern, or Italian? The voting is starting. So you have 6 options, put them in order top to bottom. All right. Has everyone had a chance to vote? We'll give everybody a few more. I know it's hard to choose between Southern and anything else. So. Southern Italian, that would be one. Okay, are we good? All right, Al, what do people say? Southern leads 28%, and you can see the results. So this is how we're going to do our official questions as we move into the survey. Okay? All right, so the county manager was discussing the different priorities, and Cumberland County's allocation is $65 million. So when you think of that, please rank the funding categories in priority order of importance. You can also, if you're having trouble seeing the screen, the handout follows along with the questions too. All right, so rank these in order of importance, 1 being the most important and keep last. A, support public health expenditures. B, address the negative economic impacts. C, provide premium pay for essential workers. D, investment in water and sewer. E, investment in broadband. All right, does everyone have a chance? Let's get the results. D, investment in water and sewer infrastructure, followed by address the negative economic impacts and broadband. A, support public health expenditures, and then C, provide premium pay for essential workers.
Good evening, everyone. I'll take over from here. So the second question is, please rank the following examples of the programs and services designed to address the public health impacts of COVID-19 from 1 to 4, with 1 being the most important and 4 being the least important. So the choices are services and programs to prevent and mitigate and respond to COVID-19. B is enhance behavioral and mental health services. C, improve the design and execution of health and public health programs to address needs. And D, to address disparities in public health outcomes. Everyone done? Okay, let's see the results. Pretty closely clustered. So, C, improve the design and execution of health and public health programs to address needs. And you see the rest of the results. Next question, please.
All right, please rank the following examples of programs and services designed to address the negative economic impacts of COVID-19. Assistance to household, food, rent, utilities. etc. Assistance to small businesses, assistance to nonprofits, and an aid to impacted industries. Am I good to go? Right now. A, assistance to households, followed by assistance to small businesses, assistance to nonprofits, and then aid to industry.
Okay, question 4. Please rank the following examples of programs and services designed to address disproportionately impacted communities from 1 to 4, with 1 being the most important and 4 being the least important. A, services to address homelessness. B, affordable housing development. C, addressing educational disparities. And D, promoting healthy environments for children. Okay, let's see the results. Wow. We're pretty much tied. And A being the lowest vote getter. All right, question 5.
All right, this is an opportunity to rank the types of infrastructure projects or programs in priority order. A, public water projects to improve access to clean drinking water. Public sewer to address septic tank problems. Projects to improve resilience of infrastructure to severe weather events. And then D, broadband infrastructure to unserved or underserved communities. Now, B, public sewer to address septic problems, followed by public water, and then the other 2 tied, broadband and resilience to weather events.
All right. Are there any additional programs, services, or projects that the county should consider for the ARP funding? And this is your opportunity. We're going to write them down and have the folks. If you would, write those down on your pads that you have, and then we're going to ask you to come up and place them on either of these display boards, and we will read the results. So we'll give you a few minutes to think about other areas that you're interested in, and have you come up and post them. Thank you.
Right. So you've got 2, use the sticky ones, the post-it ones with the lines on there, and you may have multiple projects that you have in mind.
Question, Sally.
Yes, ma'am.
Should it just be one answer for like the town of Eastover?
However you want to answer it.
I mean,
If you,
We've all got same answer, but.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, for our records, yeah, each of you fill one out and put that up there, because we are going to have a report out from each of our community meetings and a separate report out from the online survey. that's fine. If you want to get up and stretch your legs, you can come paste them on either side of the boards, and we are going to read all of them out for everyone to hear.
Come on up, feel free.
I can't believe y'all aren't shy, or everybody's writing a lot. We have plenty of Post-its too.
Put some right there. We're gonna split the reading.
All right, put them up here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll be the one to knock the sign down. That's why they sent me.
Thank you.
That's right, we're telling you from Falcon.
Anybody else? Okay, so water drainage canals in Eastover, Wade flooding, water drainage canals in Eastover, up to East Fayetteville at the river. This is causing a lot of flooding, and watershed, can we clean up countywide to include future maintenance?
Nonprofit mental health programs. Support local fire department and emergency services. They are on the front line. Invest in public transportation in Fayetteville, Spring Lake, Hood Mills. Pay life safety personnel for COVID and overdose response.
Thank you all for that.
All right, now
We got all those.
are there any others that we have? Okay. All right, now we've got a few more questions, and this is where you're going to tell us a little bit about yourselves. This will help us see who we've got as we draw down our data. Question number 7. Are you a Cumberland County resident? Yes or no? It's a lot easier than ranking. Just yes or no. Okay. Who's in the room, Al? Okay. We're missing one. Okay. All right. 92% are residents and 8%. Okay. Now we want to know where you live. So if you're in the city of Fayetteville, please give your zip code. If you're outside the city of Fayetteville, 28312, wait till the next slide. But if you live in the city of Fayetteville, select your zip code on this slide. 28312 is in both city and, yeah. Okay? Let's see. Now.
Question 9. And if you live in other areas of the county, please select your zip code. Okay. We're missing 4. Ready, Al? Two, 8, 3, 1, 2. Over salad.
All right, has the COVID-19 crisis negatively affected your family financially? Not at all, very little, somewhat, or severely. Okay. All right, a variety of answers, somewhat, Very little and not at all.
Do you have access to affordable high-speed broadband at home, yes or no?
Yeah.
What do you look at? We're good? Okay. 100% yes.
All right, so what's your relationship to Cumberland County? Do you live in Cumberland County? Do you work here, or do you both? And, wow, 75 of you do both.
Do you own or operate a small business in Cumberland County? Yes or no, please? You ready? Okay. 50-50. Interesting. Okay.
Are you connected in some way to the military? Yes or no?
Would that just include active duty or veteran, or would that include if you do business with the military?
Family member. Yeah, that's how we intended it to be. If you, and the next question is about veterans, but are you in some way connected to the military through? Okay. 25%. Okay.
All right. Are you a veteran or a spouse of a veteran? Yes or no, please? Okay, 17%. Yes. Next question.
Are you affiliated with a nonprofit organization that provides services to citizens who have been negatively affected by COVID-19? Okay.
All right, next question. How old are you? If you would share that with us, please.
Left out older than dirt.
All right, let's see the results. Older. All right, next question.
Most people think of themselves as belonging to a particular ethnic or racial group. How do you identify yourself? The choices are there. Okay.
Would you like to receive information through a newsletter or email about the Cumberland County government activities, services, and programs? Yes or no, please?
I will drive your attention to the final bullet. As you're driving home tonight or in the coming weeks, if you have questions and you just or need more information, there's an email address that we've set up. It's arp@co.cumberland.nc.us. So please email us your questions. And we will respond back to that. And I want to thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Keith.
Well, we tried to make this as comfortable as we can for everybody. But can you bring up that last slide again? You know, obviously it looked like we had 10 people giving the survey. The voice of that online survey is going to be just as great as the survey you have here. So if you're a government official, go back and tell your board. Go back and tell your neighbors. Take time to let us know, because we are only as good as the information we have. And it'd be a shame to let this opportunity pass. To go and only because somebody didn't speak loud enough or somebody didn't, let us know, and we assumed everything was okay. We can imagine, I was kind of taken back a little bit about the broadband. We hear about broadband and there's pockets, but, tonight everybody seemed to feel like they had good broadband. I think we're going to get a different story on Thursday night. I think water's going to be a problem on Thursday night, but it just goes back to what we're talking about. Please look at that survey. Go to the county website. Tell your friends. Let us know what's going on. Before I go, I did want to recognize former Judge Tal Baggett. Thank you for coming. And former commissioner. So you said, what would you do with all this money if you had all that money?
I would spend some of it with the Eastover Center.
Well, that's what I thought you were going to see how much you could take away from PWC. All right, but I'm glad to see you have consistently stayed true to yourself. All that being said, I'm going to ask committee members. Vice Chair Adams, you're good?
I'm good.
Thank you, Commissioner Stewart. And Chairman Evans, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. That's all gone, huh?
Uh-oh, guys.
No. Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming out. Please give the staff a round of applause. Staff has put this together so tremendously, and I'm very grateful for the hard work that they do for each and every citizen that we have here in Cumberland County. I want to thank the chairman, Commissioner Jimmy Keith, Commissioner Tardy Stewart, and Commissioner Glenn Adams for being a part of this. Let me tell you, one reason, there's a couple of reasons I wanted to start out. You got to help us spend this money. You got to help us spend this money in a way that's conducive for everyone to benefit from it, okay? We hadn't hurried to get to you because this young man here, if we hadn't started seeing everybody find out what they want, he would have had a good way to spend his money. He is like a child in a candy store, money. So, but he's also very passionate about making sure that the citizens are aware of what we're doing on their interests. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming out, and we're glad to be here, glad to be of service to each and every one of you. I want you to, I can't express enough how much your staff on the Cumberland County Board, with the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners, how hard they work for each citizen here in Cumberland County. And it is such an honor to be able to go from township to township to talk to you, and also to give you the opportunity to participate in the decision process that we're making. Thank you again for being here, and we hope to see you real soon.
Thank you. Well, that concludes. We'll be around for just a little while if anybody has any other questions that you'd like to address. But thank you very much for taking time out of your business schedule to come out and let us know.